Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Connie.
My name is Connie Mark, and I'm from an island in the West Indies called Jamaica. Now today I'm going to tell you an Anancy story. Do you know who Anancy was?
Spider.
Oh, lovely. Good. There's another thing that I have to tell you about Anancy, which you may or may not know. He was a trickster. He could turn anybody's head and he could trick anybody into giving anything. But fortunately, in this story, he didn't really have to be a trickster, and everything turned out very nice for him. And this story is called Anancy and Mr. Drybones. There must be a reason why they call Mr. Drybones Mr. Drybones, because in the West Indies, as in Africa, everybody had a nickname. And I think maybe that's why he was called Mr. Drybones, because he might have been a bit skinny or thin, because sometimes they call you big head, or they call you dry foot or something, and that's why they call him Mr. Drybones. Now, Mr. Drybones lived in this big house. He was very, very rich. And he wanted to marry this lady called Miss Louise.
I have all this. A great big house and everything that money can buy. I have a view from the top of this hill that is breathtaking. And yet I am still not happy. Why? Because I am so lonely. What I really want is a wife. That is where a very beautiful and clever girl lives. Her name is Louise. But you see, there is one problem. And unfortunately, it is a huge problem. Louise has never laughed in her whole life, and she will only marry the man who can make her laugh. Well, perhaps I am that man. If I don't try, I'll never know. Yes, I'll do it. I'll go there straight away.
Anancy, on the other hand, lived in a small house at the bottom of the hill, and he was rather poor, but he also wanted to marry Miss Louise. Miss Louise, on the other hand, lived on the other hill. She was neither rich nor poor, but she was very clever, and Miss Louise was very beautiful.
Yes?
Good evening, Miss Louise.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Drybones.
I've brought all my powerful conjuring tricks and I'm going to make you laugh.
Well, this I have got to see.
Make yourself comfortable and watch this space. Now for some magic.
So Mr. Drybones turned himself into a bat that flapped and flapped. And then he turned himself into a cat that spat. Well, that didn't work. So he turned himself into a pig that honked and honked. And then into a rabbit. But Miss Louise never, ever smiled. So he tried something new. He turned somersaults and cartwheels and he stood upside down on the ceiling. But still, Miss Louise never laughed. Anancy said to himself, I can do better than that.
I can do better than that. Just you wait and see. I'll make Miss Louise laugh. I may be poor, I may live in a small house, but I've got my own tricks.
So he went now to Tiger and he said, Tiger,
Ah, there you are. Just the tiger I'm looking for.
Hey, ma'am.
Tiger, can you help me out? Lend me your best evening suit because I'm going to visit Miss Louise.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nancy. My own suit's at the cleaners right now. You can borrow my jogging suit.
Oh, no.
Anancy went to see Dog.
Oh, it's you, Anancy.
Hi, Brother Dog. I've come to ask you a small favour. I need to borrow your top hat because I'm going to visit Miss Louise.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nancy. My top hat got crushed the other day, but you can borrow my hunting hat.
Dear, oh dear.
And then Anancy went to Alligator. And he says, Alligator,
Morning, Bro Alligator. Lend me those beautiful black shiny evening suits of yours because I'm going to visit Miss Louise.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nancy. They got soaked at the dance last night, but you can borrow my other shoes.
Incredible. Very fetching, I'm sure.
as he was walking along, he saw Sister Monkey swinging from the trees, and she said,
You need a tie visit, Miss Louise. Thanks, Monkey.
He walked along again and he saw parrots squawking.
Squawk, squawk! Put this in your hands, Anancy. Then a crow good. We go to visit Miss Louise. Miss Louise. Squawk, squawk!
Thanks, Parrot.
By this time, he walked in and then he got to Miss Louise's house and he knocked on the door.
Hi, Louise. I've come to show you much better country tricks than Mr. Drybone.
Anancy, that's the weirdest get-up I've ever seen.
Everyone laughed, even Mr. Drybones. Okay, said to Anancy, you win. So Anancy married Miss Louise and they all lived happily ever after.
It's party time.